You're just lying in bed with your phone in your hand and promising yourself you'll put it down after just one more scroll. Next thing you know, well, it's 1:32 a.m. You've just finished watching 3 random YouTube videos, stalked an old friend's Instagram, and read the same news headline twice. And the worst part, you're not even enjoying it. You're just stuck. I lived like this for years. My nights felt like a blur of exhaustion, distraction, and regret. And every morning, I paid the price. But one simple change, creating a night routine that actually worked for me, completely changed the way I sleep, the way I wake up, and the way I live my days. This isn't going to be some unrealistic wake up at 4 a.m. and take an ice bath thing. I'm talking about real habits that fit into a normal life, habits that anyone can start tonight. So if you've ever thought, I wish I could just shut my brain off and feel in control of my nights again, seriously, watch this video till the end because you'll get exactly what you need. But if you skip it, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Just go ahead, keep scrolling, and wake up tired again tomorrow. So, without any further delay, let's get into the video. The dark reality of my old nighttime habits. Before I reveal what my evening ritual looks like today, you need to understand the mess I was dealing with. My previous nights were complete disorder. Some evenings I'd remain awake working because I felt ashamed for not accomplishing enough during daylight hours. Other nights, I'd marathon Netflix until 2 a.m. Sometimes I browsed social platforms until my eyes literally ached. And here's the insane part. I convinced myself I was unwinding, but the reality, I was numbing myself. I wasn't truly relaxing. I was escaping the pressure I hadn't addressed during the day, escaping the racing thoughts in my mind, escaping the reality that I felt like I was falling behind in everything. This pattern isn't unique to me. A colleague of mine used to stay awake every night, responding to emails until she discovered she was just keeping herself busy to avoid confronting her own thoughts. The issue with destructive evening habits is they don't just destroy your rest, they sabotage your mornings, your concentration, your emotional state, and ultimately your physical well-being. The science behind why we self-sabotage at night. What I didn't understand back then was the psychology behind this behavior. When we're tired, our prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for decision making, goes offline first. This is why we make terrible choices at night. We lose our willpower exactly when we need it most. Think about it. During the day, you can resist the urge to check social media while working. But at night, suddenly you're 3 hours deep in TikTok without remembering how you got there. This isn't a character flaw, it's biology working against us. Research shows that our brains crave stimulation when we're overtired. It's a survival mechanism gone wrong in our modern world. Instead of winding down naturally, we seek dopamine hits from our devices, creating an addiction cycle that keeps us wired when we should be preparing for rest. My personal wake-up call. The turning point came on a Tuesday night. I found myself at 2:47 a.m. mindlessly scrolling through someone's vacation photos from 2019. My eyes were burning, my neck hurt from hunching over my phone, and I had an important presentation the next day. In that moment, I realized I wasn't living my life. I was just surviving it, one exhausting night at a time. That's when I understood I didn't just need to sleep earlier. I needed a complete system overhaul, a method to conclude my day with purpose and intention. How I discovered the transformative power of evening routines. Initially, I dismissed night routines as just another social media fad. But one evening, I encountered a quote that struck me like lightning. How you conclude your day determines how you begin your next one. It dawned on me that I was starting every morning already behind, not financially behind, but energetically bankrupt. My mornings were predetermined by the chaos of my previous night. So I began testing different approaches. I experimented with everything imaginable: reading before sleep, journaling, meditation, organizing my living space. Through trial and error, I discovered the perfect combination that actually transformed my life. The outcome? I awakened more peacefully. My mornings weren't frantic rushes. My mind wasn't racing at bedtime. And now I want to share this step-by-step breakdown so you can design an evening routine that suits your lifestyle and actually becomes sustainable. The 7 pillars of my life-transforming evening routine. Step 1. The work closure ceremony. Most individuals conclude their workday by never actually concluding it. they simply drift into evening activities. The issue is your mind doesn't recognize that you finished working, so it continues processing and worrying. Here's my closure ceremony. I shut down my computer completely. I create a brief list of unfinished tasks and tomorrow's priorities. I physically exit my work area. It's like informing my brain today's responsibilities are complete. For example, my neighbor manages a consulting practice and previously answered client calls at midnight. Now, she schedules her final work check at 8:30 p.m. After that moment, professional duties are finished and she reports that her sleep quality improved within 1 week. This ritual isn't just about turning off devices, it's about transitioning your mental state from productivity mode to recovery mode. Without this clear boundary, your brain treats every moment as potential work time, keeping you in a state of low-level stress that prevents deep rest. Step 2. Environmental reset. I'm not suggesting a complete deep clean. I'm talking about a quick 5 to 10 minute space refresh. Dirty dishes go into the sink, clothes draped on chairs get hung up properly, cluttered desk surfaces get cleared. The reasoning? Awakening to a disorganized environment is like beginning your day with an overwhelming to-do list already staring you down. When I implemented this habit, I noticed something fascinating. I genuinely started sleeping more soundly. It's as if my mind felt unburdened. There's actual psychology behind this. Visual clutter creates cognitive overload, even when we're not consciously aware of it. Our brains are constantly processing our environment, and chaos in our physical space creates chaos in our mental space. By creating order before bed, we're essentially giving our minds permission to rest. Step 3, complete digital disconnection. This step is challenging, but it's the most transformative. Zero phone usage for the final 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. Not reduced usage, complete elimination. Because here's what occurs. You convince yourself you're merely checking one quick thing, but your brain begins consuming information, stimulating it instead of calming it down. A friend of mine substituted this time with reading physical books, and she reports falling asleep 40 minutes faster now. If you're dependent on nighttime scrolling, try relocating your phone to a different room entirely. I charge mine across the bedroom, eliminating temptation. The blue light from screens isn't just disruptive, it actively suppresses melatonin production. But beyond the physiological effects, the content we consume keeps our minds active and engaged when we should be transitioning to rest. News, social media, even entertainment all require mental processing that interferes with natural wind down. Step 4. Mental decluttering and tomorrow's preparation. Do you ever find yourself lying in bed, replaying conversations, or suddenly remembering random tasks? That's your brain, attempting to retain too much information simultaneously. So I perform what I call a mental download. I write everything down: thoughts, responsibilities, creative ideas, concerns, absolutely everything. Then I document 3 specific things I'm grateful for. Not grand gestures, but small, concrete details, like how perfectly brewed my morning coffee was. This practice stops my brain from carrying stress and mental baggage into my sleep cycle. It's like clearing your computer's cache. Suddenly, everything runs smoother. The gratitude component isn't just feel-good nonsense. Research shows that gratitude practices actually rewire our brains for positivity and reduce cortisol levels. When we end our day focusing on what went well, we're more likely to sleep peacefully and wake up optimistically. Step 5. The transition window. After planning, I enter what I call my transition window. I dim all the lights, prepare a cup of herbal tea, sometimes play gentle instrumental music. This signals to my body that rest time is approaching. No rushing around. No just one more task mentality. It's like landing an airplane. You don't crash it down abruptly. You gradually descend with the intention. This window serves as a buffer between your active day and your restful night. Most people try to go from 100% activity straight to sleep, which is like slamming on the brakes. Your body and mind need time to naturally slow down. I experiment with different elements during this time. Sometimes it's gentle stretching, sometimes aromatherapy with lavender, sometimes just sitting quietly with my tea. The key is consistency. Your body starts to recognize these cues and begins preparing for sleep automatically. Step 6. Moments of mindfulness. Some evenings I meditate for 10 minutes. Some nights I pray or reflect. Other times I simply sit in silence and focus on breathing. The specific method isn't important. What matters is creating stillness. Even 5 minutes of genuine quiet can completely shift your mental state and emotional equilibrium. This isn't about perfection or achieving some Zen state. It's about giving your mind permission to simply be present without constantly doing or achieving. During these moments, I often notice thoughts trying to pull me back into tomorrow's worries or today's regrets. Instead of fighting them, I acknowledge them and gently return to the present moment. This practice has taught me that most of my nighttime anxiety comes from trying to solve tomorrow's problems tonight, which is impossible and exhausting. Step 7. Sleep environment optimization. Finally, I stopped treating quality sleep as optional or secondary. I maintain my bedroom dark and cool, ideally around 67 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I follow a consistent sleep schedule and protect it like my most important appointment. Because when I sleep well, every other aspect of my life functions better. My relationships, my work, my health, my mood, everything improves. I invested in blackout curtains, a comfortable mattress, and I keep all screens out of the bedroom. My bedroom is solely for sleep and rest, not for work or entertainment. This creates what sleep scientists call sleep hygiene, environmental and behavioral practices that promote consistent, quality sleep. Understanding the deeper psychology. What makes this routine so powerful isn't just the individual steps, it's how they work together to address the root causes of poor sleep. Most sleep problems aren't actually sleep problems. They're stress management problems, boundary problems, and mindfulness problems that show up at bedtime. When we don't have closure from our day, our minds keep working. When our environment is chaotic, our internal state mirrors that chaos. When we don't process our thoughts and emotions, they process themselves through worry and rumination. This routine addresses all of these underlying issues systematically. It's not just about falling asleep faster, it's about creating a life where you actually want to rest because you feel complete and peaceful at the end of each day. The ripple effects I never expected. Since implementing this evening routine, the changes extend far beyond just better sleep. My mornings naturally became more peaceful because I wasn't starting from a deficit. My relationships improved because I wasn't constantly irritable from exhaustion. My productivity during the day increased because I wasn't spending mental energy dreading bedtime or recovering from poor sleep. I started looking forward to evenings instead of seeing them as something to survive. But perhaps most importantly, I developed a healthier relationship with rest itself. Instead of viewing sleep as time stolen from productivity, I began seeing it as the foundation that makes everything else possible. Your implementation strategy starting tonight. If you absorb only one concept from this video, let it be this. Your evenings don't just conclude your day, they architect your tomorrow. Each night is an investment in the next day's potential. Start small and build gradually. Maybe tonight, implement just the work closure ceremony. Tomorrow evening, add the digital disconnection. The following night, include the space reset. Construct this routine slowly but deliberately. Don't attempt to overhaul everything simultaneously. That's a recipe for abandoning the whole system within a week. Instead, add one element at a time until the entire routine feels natural and automatic. The evening routine that transformed my life has the potential to revolutionize yours as well. Your next step forward. If you're still watching this, it indicates you genuinely want your nights and potentially your entire life to feel different. So here's my challenge. Don't simply close this video and forget about it. Select one small element and implement it tonight. Not tomorrow, not eventually. Tonight. And if this content provided even minimal value, hit the like button. Not because I'm focused on metrics, but because when you do, YouTube shares this with more people who are lying awake feeling trapped. Just like you and I once were. If you know someone who needs this message, share it with them. Because sometimes one small insight at exactly the right moment can transform everything. And if you want more content like this, practical, genuine habits that make life feel lighter and more intentional, then please subscribe. Until then, sleep peacefully tonight. Your future self will thank you for the gift of rest you're about to give them.